And good morning, everybody. It is Monday morning motivation once again. If you guys are brand new to the channel, we appreciate you being here. I am Chris of Chris Cooking Nashville, and this picture of beauty next to me is the famous Ash Taylor, country artist extraordinaire.
You're very sweet, Mr. Delisle.
Yeah,
very, very sweet.
I don't know about that. I'm just telling the truth.
Oh, you're sweet.
Just telling the truth. Well, if you guys can see and hear us okay, please let us know, because we have a completely different setup here, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. So, it's very comfortable.
We got new chairs.
We got new chairs.
You guys can't tell. And they recline. Now, I'm not going to recline on the live stream, although I've thought about it. But much more comfy. Good on the back.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. We had a futon that was sitting here that we have had for, I think we figured out it was about 5 years.
Yeah, like 5 to 6 years.
5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
And like it was all broken down and the springs were coming through. We bought that when I was teaching guitar lessons, and we needed something for guitar students to sit on in the house that we rented way back in the day before the pandemic. And it was cheap then. It was very cheap and broken down now. So it was miserable to try to sit on, and we are very blessed to have some more comfortable furniture in here. So
yeah.
So we figured we'd just try out our Monday morning motivation live stream this way. Give it a shot. And if you guys are brand new, this Monday morning motivation is kind of our way to talk about sort of the things going on in our life and try to give you some encouragement for your life, and specifically focused on proper human diets, keto, carnivore, low carb, whatever you're doing. But also not just your diet, but just life in general. Like, as we're going through things, we share it, and if you are going through something similar, we would love for you to use the comment section to share your stories and just tell us what is going on, because we just appreciate all of you guys being here, and we love every single one of you, and we just want to help as best we can. So today we are talking about finding direction and dominating your health journey as a result of finding that direction. And I think that the thing that maybe I see regularly in people in the community and people in different online groups and our private community, which I have linked down below, will tell you more about that, because that is one of the places that I'd love to see you guys come and be a part of it if you want some help with the direction and being able to dominate your journey. But we'll talk about that private community. But in all these places, one of the things that I think I see regularly, and I think maybe you would probably agree here too, because we talked about these kinds of things, is people are looking for what is the approach? What are the things I can do? What are the steps I need to take? Whatever. The factors, the variables that we can have an impact on.
Right. That
help take us from where we are to the next step, because people feel stuck, or they feel unsure of what to do, or they're not entirely confident in, well, what do I do next? I'm not seeing the results that I want. I don't know if I'm going to see results at all. I'm brand new and I'm trying to figure out what I should be doing. Like, these are the kinds of things that are very, very difficult when you are brand new, or when you are maybe not brand new, but you're in this position where you're just not seeing the movement you want. The measurements aren't changing. The scale doesn't change. Maybe the scale goes the direction you don't want it to go. Like, there's a health issue that hasn't cleaned up, or any of this stuff. I mean, there's a lot of different things that can start to impact you, and it can really mess with your head. Yeah. Really bad. It's messed with mine from time to time. It still is something I have to guard against, and I'm very blessed in the fact that I have a beautiful wife who is so supportive, and when I'm struggling with something, or when I get up in my own head, or I'm thinking something's not going the way that I want, she kind of goes, okay, well, now hang on a minute. Before you go down this rabbit hole of being focused on all of the things that are wrong and not working, let's talk about what can you do to try to inspire more change, and maybe even more importantly than that, what are all of the great things you need to be focused on instead? And we're kind of talking a little bit about what we're focusing on.
Yeah.
And what we're doing, because here's the deal. We're in the middle of a health journey just like all of you. This is not a snap your fingers one and done. And it's funny. So this past, let's see, what day was that?
So about the podcast?
Yeah, the podcast was Saturday. I'm having a hard time remembering what day it is. So on Saturday, Dr. Kiltz was in town because there is a Yuma, Tennessee meetup that happened yesterday, and he was going to be there for that. We, big time bummer, were not able to attend, but we did get to go be on a podcast with Dr. Kiltz, and we got to do it in person. So we got to meet him and Alia. Dr. Lisa Wiedemann was there. There were several other people that we got to meet. All of them fantastic.
I have to say, I had such a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Dr. Kiltz, I mean, just everybody. They were, like, the greatest people. And I think we just felt so, like, loved and at home and great conversation.
Yes,
but,
and if you guys have never watched Dr. Kiltz, or if you've never followed what he does, or especially if you've never met him in person, you may not even know. He is a ball of energy and love for people.
He is.
He really, really
yes.
is. Really cool guy. We love Dr. Kiltz. And just so kind. He was so welcoming and so kind to us. Hugs all around. It was fantastic. So we went there and we did this. And I remember I was talking with a couple of the people there, like Dr. Kiltz and Dr. Wiedemann and these different people. And I was talking with them and I said, what I find really funny is sometimes people make comments to, and it's not just me, they'll make it to all of you too, but they'll make comments like, if you're really eating carnivore in 3 months, you're going to be jacked. And I'm like, I was almost 400 pounds. It is going to take more than 3 months for my body to heal. Right? And it's like, I've already lost 130 pounds and I've got more to lose, sure. But you cannot stay focused on things like people talking out of their backside saying, you should have, 3 months and you're going to be jacked. And if that's not the case, then you're doing something wrong. That's not realistic. And what I thought was very telling was I said this to, say, like Dr. Wiedemann, who has been carnivore for 16 years.
That's incredible,
right?
yeah.
I said that and she laughed and she was like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, like doctors who have done this for years and years and years, they know. This is not a 3-month process. Your health journey is not something that changes overnight. It is not a flip of a switch.
Well, and something else we also talked about was even when you hit your ideal body weight, even if you've been a carnivore for 15, 16, 20 years, however long, they still have things that they are working on in their own health.
Yeah.
So it's all completely like a health journey, and you do this from the day you discover a proper human diet, basically until the day you die.
Yep.
I mean, it's your whole life that you go through, the ups, the downs, the whole kit and caboodle.
There is a, let's see, I saw somebody says...
the sound is fine.
The sound is fine? Okay, cool. Awesome. So, sorry, I just wanted to make sure.
No, you're good.
So, my microphone is now sitting across the room, so if I lose sound, I have to get up and actually grab it.
Well, we don't want to get up out of these chairs.
I don't want to get up. So, but I just want to make sure we're good. So, we were having this conversation. The doctors who know what they're talking about with the whole carnivore thing laugh at the idea of in 3 months I'm going to be jacked, right? Like, it's just not realistic. So, for all of you, and for us too, it's important to remember that this is a journey. It is not it's not a set of dominoes that you set everything up right, you push one, and you stand there and watch them all fall, and all of that work just, boom, it's done, and now everything's perfect. It doesn't work that way. You're not flipping a light switch to just, I'm going to be, a Greek god physique in 3 months. Like, there may be people out there whose bodies are just set up to where they do this, and within 3 months they lose all their weight. I mean, maybe, but maybe not. And you don't have to be that person to be doing it the right way.
Right.
I think there is so much misinformation out there about what it means to find direction in this, and if you guys saw, I put up the thumbnail that was for this particular live stream. I'm going to show it to you guys again here. This thumbnail, of me staring at this map, I think this is what this feels like sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, like you are looking at this trying to figure out, where the heck am I supposed to go?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? You guys are not alone if you feel that way. I feel that way.
Yeah. I think the only big difference is I feel like, before maybe we all learned about a proper human diet, it's kind of like this idea where it's like, you're unhealthy and you're in pain. Maybe sometimes you didn't realize how bad you were actually struggling, and you're looking at a map and you're like, well, gosh, what path do I take? Like, how do I do this? Like,
right.
I know I'm not where I need to be, whatever. I think the cool thing is, though, is if you are on a proper human diet, at least that course is already kind of, planted for you. You have a route that's there.
Yeah.
Now, your route may, it's never going to be a straight across path. It's going to be up, down, twists, turns. Hell, sometimes you may go backwards.
Yeah.
And then just have to turn around and, keep going forward. But it's kind of all part of that journey for sure.
Right.
So at least we know where we need to be heading now.
Absolutely. And I think something really important for all of you to understand is, first of all, there is no one common destination for everyone on this journey.
Yeah.
There's a general concept, which is good health, ideal body weight, no sickness, no disease, no pain, no struggling, like all that kind of stuff. Sure, that's a general concept we're all shooting for. But that doesn't always look the same for everybody.
No.
There are people out there who they're like, man, if I could get my migraine headaches to go away, nothing else in my life would have to change and I would be happy.
Right.
Or there's people that are like, if I could lose 150 pounds, I don't even care if all of these other things were still happening. I'm just so sick of being so heavy. Or there are people who are like, I'm at my ideal body weight. I have no medications. I have none of this. But you know what? I have arthritis and I can't play the piano like I used to. And I would love to see my arthritis go away. Completely different goals that people have, and all of these things are variable for each and every person, so there is no singular destination. But even more importantly, there really is no such thing as a destination for anyone, truthfully, because this being a health journey, from the day you start on this path until the day that you are no longer on this earth, you are progressing one step forward every time. And the day before you pass on, you're still working to move forward to try to be a little better than you were the day before, hopefully.
Right.
Hopefully you don't give up, right? But ideally, you should always be on this journey. There is no place where you arrive and then you just stop. Because if there's a place where you arrive and you stop, you're thinking too small. And your life will end the day you get to the journey end. And then you go, well, there's nothing else to do. There's nowhere else to go. I just lay down and just wait till I croak.
Yeah.
You don't ever want to be in a position where you feel like there's nothing else for you to do. So there really is no such thing as a destination. There is only a direction to go and always pursue things that are better in that direction.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And it looks different along the way for everybody. There are times where, multiple paths can take you in the same general direction. And it's like, well, if you go this way, you're going to go through these things. If you go this way, you're going to do it this way. What works best for you? What are you most likely to stick to? What's going to encourage you along the way? These are all things to take into consideration. And when you do that, you don't end up feeling lost because you realize there's no one exact set of steps you have to take. So the fact that you're not sure what your next step is perfectly okay. There's nothing wrong with not knowing what your exact next step is. The only thing wrong with that is if you don't know and then you stop trying to find it. That's the only time it becomes a problem. So I think it's really interesting when you're trying to find your direction, or you feel like you're lost, or you feel like you don't know what else to do. There's so much information out there that you will find, and you will go on a path of self-discovery with your diet, with you as a person, with your goals and your dreams and your aspirations and all of these things. There are so many things that will happen to you along the way. And it is part of what shapes you to be who you are. And that's the whole point. That's why it matters.
Right.
And keto and carnivore and low carb stuff and all these, it's part of the process. It's the fuel that makes the motor run, but it is not the defining thing of the path you're on.
Yeah.
The path is so much bigger than just the food you're putting in your mouth. But the food is the fuel that makes it better and more comfortable and more successful for you to travel that path.
Yes.
So keeping that in perspective is really important for me as well. And this is something that this lovely lady over here has to smack me around every now and then, proverbially. Don't worry, she doesn't hit me, but she, proverbially will kind of smack me around and knock some common sense into me and say, hey, stop being so focused on everything that you don't know and everything that you're not sure you're doing right and everything you're not achieving in the way that you think you should be achieving it, and just look at where you are. Look at all of the great things you've done, and now figure out what the step is to go to the next one. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm very happy that I have an accountability partner here with me every single day.
Well, same, and likewise. I mean, that's, I think something too that is important to remember is we all are on different paths. We start at different places. People have different stories. They have different lives or whatever. So I think another thing is, speaking from our own experience, when Chris and I first started, we've only been doing this for a few years. Yeah. Because we did keto and carnivore for the first time, and then we went off the rails for a while, and then we were like, why did we do that? Yeah. Right? And so then we got back on, and so now we've been doing this for, I guess it'd be about 2 years that we've been back on the wagon. Yeah. So we're still pretty new into all of this ourselves.
Just a little over 2 years this time around.
But as we've, when we first started, it was things like, we would have certain things we would struggle with, where it's like we couldn't even possibly imagine being able to lose that much weight or being able to do this thing or do that thing. Right. And so I think what we try to do, though, is because just like all of you, we're still on the journey, we're still trying to figure it out. We like to ask ourselves the question, though, because your needs change, your body changes, your path will change. Yeah. And that's okay, but it's like, all right, so in order to just continue on my health journey, let me listen to my body, let me figure out what it is I need to do, and then move on from there. Right. So sometimes that's kind of what we're talking about today is like, okay, so like, no matter where you're at, what are some things that we can start implementing, though, into our lives, which we're going to share with you what we're personally doing, which I'm super excited about. Yeah. Because there was a day I would have said, oh, no, I'm not, I could never do that. Never do that. And then this week we're starting stuff, and it's exciting. It's like we've got to this point on the journey where we're able to do things, and we're just trying to always better ourselves. Yeah. Put our money where the mouth is. We just don't want to sit here and be like, yeah, guys, be stricter. Do it. It's like, no, like we're right there with you. We understand how hard it is. We understand the difficulties, but this is part of growing, and I think it's cool to share all of this together as a community because even if you don't have someone. In your home, if your spouse or children or whoever, if they're not supporting you on your low carb journey, my heart breaks for you and I understand, but come here and let's talk about all this together and encourage each other. And I think that's kind of what we do here every Monday morning, and it's a great way to start the week off. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
So I have a couple of things that I have started implementing already, and there's a couple of more things that we're going to continue to implement. So should we talk about kind of some of the things we're doing and maybe why we're doing that? Because what specifically we're doing may not work for you exactly. But if you understand the why behind what we're doing, you can take that same why, which is applicable to everybody, and you can figure out, okay, so what is the way that would impact my life? What decision would I do? What would I add? What would I implement? What strategies can I use? Having that same purpose, that same why behind it. What can I do that would work for my life and my personality and my tendencies and my whatever to make it successful for me? So for me, there's a couple of things I'm doing already, and there's a couple of more we're going to do. So number one, I have started doing 10 squats every time I want to eat something. And my legs are very sore right now. But the reason that I'm doing that is the why behind it is being intentional with my thought about what I'm eating, when I'm eating, and if I'm actually hungry. So I thought, well, what can I do that would make my brain just stop for a second and make sure that, one, I am actually hungry, and two, that I'm really willing to go ahead and do this to eat this thing. And so I added in 10 squats every time I'm going to eat. Because one, if I'm snacking all throughout the day, I'm not going to be able to walk right? Which I don't really snack through the day, but it's, it's a good guard against that, just in case I would have the tendency. More importantly, every time I go to eat, two things happen. Firstly, I stop and I ask myself, am I actually hungry? Because it's not that the squats change me knowing whether I'm hungry or not. It's just a specific act. It's a specific intentional thing I do that forces my brain to stop and think for a second before I just mindlessly eat something because, well, it's lunchtime.
Right.
Right? So I stop and I go, but am I actually hungry? And I have to stop and think about it, which is a good thing because it's a habit that I want to form. I want to start asking myself, am I actually hungry or am I just habitually eating? Because those are two very different things. So it does that. The second thing that it does for me is if I am truly, yes, indeed, hungry, well, then I need to go ahead and do 10 squats, which are large muscle groups because the legs, the glutes, all this kind of stuff, those are very large muscles, which means now by doing 10 squats, not only is it good for my body because I'm working those muscles, but it's also large muscle groups that by making them sore and, in Dr. Barry's words, lifting heavy things, I'm going to strengthen my leg muscles. I'm going to burn through a bunch of energy that needs to be burnt out of my body by doing something physical. So it's increasing my physical activity every day.
Right.
And it's not something that I need to go out and lift weights at the gym for half an hour, or I need to go on a 30-minute walk, or I need to do anything. It takes me like 30 seconds, right, to do 10 really intentional, all the way down like weightlifter squats. Like I do it the way I was taught in college when I was in a weightlifting class, and this guy, he was the weightlifting instructor, but he was also, he had been a football player and all this kind of stuff in college, and like really, really good shape, really buff guy. And he said the way that his coach always insisted that they did squats when they were lifting weights is if you set a marble on your knee, it would roll backwards. That's how far down you need to squat. So I do the best I can to try to get all the way down and do real squats like that. So it really works out my legs. And 10 squats, doing it, if I eat 2 meals a day, that's 20 squats in a day, doesn't sound like very much. But I also haven't been doing things like this. So starting out, that's a lot for me.
Yeah.
And it's a really good place to start. So I'm getting exercise, lifting heavy things, burning through extra energy. I'm forcing myself to stop and think if I'm really hungry or not. And it's not that the squats are going to keep me from eating, but it's just a habit that I can add in that's a very intentional thing to do. And it makes me stop and think, and it teaches me not only to be more physically active, but it teaches me to be more intentional about really thinking if I'm hungry or not.
Yeah.
So I'm getting 2 benefits out of one simple action. So that's one thing that I'm doing. Another thing that we are doing is, she's also doing this in her own way, but I'm very intentionally trying to do this. I am trying to figure out all kinds of ways to reduce my cortisol.
Yep.
Because my cortisol is just out of control all the time. Because I'm doing so many different projects. Writing a cookbook. We're doing the live streams twice a week for me and once a week for you. We're doing a recipe video, at least one every week, sometimes more. You know, if it's like keto chow videos, that's extra stuff on top of it. We go here, we go there. I do all my own editing. Like there's social media. I'm trying to keep up with comments. There are so many different layers of things that I bounce from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing every single day. And my cortisol just goes whoosh through the roof. So we're being very intentional, not only with the diet, but with just our lifestyle, for me specifically, to stop obsessing over things. Yeah. And reduce my cortisol. Because, I mean, Dr. Barry has talked about this a bunch. If your cortisol is out of control, good luck losing weight. You know, like, I think the weight stall that I had and the things that I was going through there when I quit the day job, and that was kind of when my weight just sort of stabilized out. I think some of that is my body healing, of course. And I think the other part of that is that cortisol has been out of control ever since, because I took on so much more. not having a day job, because I was like, I've got to make sure what we're doing here is succeeding and that this is good, because if it's not succeeding, we can't pay bills, and like it's a whole thing. It's inside my head. You guys understand. You all have lives and bills and everything else to do, and so I just took on a lot because I want to provide for my family, and I want to make sure that we're, helping all of you, and we're doing all the right stuff, and there's a lot that goes with it that's more than just recording a video and posting it. I mean, it is more than a full-time job. I put in probably 3 times the amount of work here that I did at my day job.
Well, and I think too, especially with you creating recipes, which
Right.
sometimes for one recipe video, it may take you a couple of years. I mean, that's, thing to kind of work all that out. So
Right.
you're also then kind of like, trying to figure all that out. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think, and honestly too, we're in a society, no matter what you do for a living or whatever, it is constant go, 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 go.
Yeah.
Work harder, more,
Right.
more. Do this, do that. It's like,
Work till you drop, because that's what you're supposed to do.
we really glorify that in today's
Yeah.
society, and the way that society works nowadays is essentially to stress people out and then offer what I like to call downers, which could basically be something that gives you that endorphin rush, which for a lot of
Right.
people is things like food and
Yeah.
all of that. So when
The
you're
sugar and the carbs
the sugar,
and
carbs,
the junk.
alcohol. I mean, you go down the whole list, but
Yeah.
that's what society has taught us. Is you go, drop. Everything is designed to be instant
Yeah.
gratification
Yep.
right now.
Use your downers to put yourself to sleep at night. Use the caffeine to jolt yourself awake in the morning.
Yeah.
And run on high stress and anxiety all day long. Then use the drugs to come down off of it and treat your issues. Try to get a few hours of sleep and get back up and do it again.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's what society has taught us. So managing your cortisol, though, and really trying to be aware of where you're putting your time and your efforts and minds is a great tip for people.
Yeah.
Because it's hard, because you're literally going against society. But also, if you think of, I hate the term, ancestral appropriate.
Yeah.
But like, we didn't have TVs and ads and cell phones and work 40 plus hours for somebody else I mean, these
Right.
are all things that we did not do back in the day.
Right.
So
Figuring out how to maneuver through all of that is a more modern issue.
yes,
that we
for
all
sure,
have to work on.
for sure.
So that's a couple of things I've already started implementing. One of the things to reduce my cortisol is I have significant administrative help.
That's me.
Yes.
Because you guys are wondering who's
that
that.
is Ash, and there are some other people that we're talking about getting involved, where it's like a lot of the things like comments and emails and all this kind of stuff that I just almost physically can't keep up with, other people are just helping me with. And it's really nice. And it's not that I don't love responding to everybody, but I just do not have... We just crossed 127,000 subscribers.
Wow.
I get a lot of comments on a lot of different social media platforms every day. Lots of YouTube comments, but also Facebook and Instagram and all this kind of stuff. I just can't keep up with all that. And, truthfully, one of the things that we've also done, and, I told you guys this whole direction and finding support and all this kind of stuff, this brings up a really good point. We have the private community, which I'm also trying to be way more involved in there, because the private community is... it's called The Band, and it's linked in the description box for you guys. But that private community, those are the people that are supporting what we do.
Yeah.
That are not just helping by supporting that community financially, which is how we pay for the ingredients to do recipes and all this other kind of stuff. They're not just supporting us that way. They are in there, and we have so many rock stars in that group.
Oh, yeah.
That are like supporting new people. You'll see them here in the comment section. Like, they're answering questions. They're talking about what they're doing on their proper human diet. They're warriors that are on the team with us, that are fighting to try to get this information out to people who really need it. And they're on their own journeys too. So they're all supporting each other. They support us. We support them. And there are people in the band, in the private community, that have great questions, that are going through a journey and need support and all that kind of stuff. And I'm really trying to prioritize the things that maybe I'm uniquely talented to answer questions about, recipes and create extra stuff and all that kind of stuff in the band. That's what I'm doing. So I answer a lot of questions on these live streams, but both on this one as well as the Tuesday night one that we're going to be doing tomorrow night when we do Backstage with Chris, and I'm cooking and I'm answering questions. I try to answer the questions in the live streams, as best I can, and I really am starting to prioritize going into the band to answer questions so that people have maybe more direct access to be like, Chris, I need help in the kitchen. What do you think about this? I'm struggling with this. Do you have a recipe for this? Can we create something like that? How do we do blah, blah, blah? Like, those are the kinds of things that I'm trying to do because I can make a bigger impact directly with people without it ruining my health.
Right.
So
yeah.
It's all about finding a balance. So if you guys want to be part of that group and have that access and get those answers and have extra support, and it's not just me, Ash is in there supporting people, and she's getting into this whole thing of like women's health and women's hormones and all this, so she's starting to share information on her journey, and there's a bunch of women in there who are all supporting each other. We are blessed to have Dustin from Keto Simple in there.
Yes.
He has his own space. We have Victor from Southern Keto. He has his own space, and he's sharing like some of these dessert recipes he's doing.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. Chris Bear from Keto Chow.
Yes.
The owner of Keto Chow. He is a member in there. So you could reach out and talk to him in there. My dad is in there. If you want to talk about somebody who understands like smoking of meats and sausage making and
Yes.
like that kind of stuff. You want to get into that side of your proper human
Tony's
diet.
your guy.
He is the dude when it comes to knowing that kind of stuff. So he's in there. We're gonna try to get my mom in there. I know she's been super busy with work lately, but hopefully we can get her to be in there. She's a type 2 diabetic, and she's working on improving and hopefully eventually reversing her type 2 diabetes, and she's had a lot of weight loss and gone through a lot of different stuff with doctors and stuff, so she can be a great person to talk about the diabetes thing with other people who are in there that have diabetes. Like, we have all kinds of stuff. All kinds of things, and we're working on a bunch more things that are going to be really special and really unique. So that link is there for you guys if you would like to join. We would love for you to be a member of the band. It's a Mighty Networks group. It's linked in the description box. But we have that kind of stuff, and Ash and some other people as well are helping to just sort of reduce some of the load of the comments and the email side of things, so I can go then focus more on recipes and the food aspect and the video editing and those kinds of things. So there's just a lot of stuff that I'm doing to reduce my cortisol and try to implement some better strategies to take care of my own health, because it doesn't matter how good my recipes are. If I don't take care of my own health, I won't be here very long for you guys. So I'm trying to take care of that.
And it's, again, part of the journey, right?
It is. It's a learning process.
Yes, absolutely. I love that.
So what kinds of things are you doing?
I'm doing a couple different things, which I'm excited about, because I never thought I would say this, so it kind of but there's a little bit of hesitant as I say it. But one of the things I've recently started doing, which I've seen massive improvement, is, so I hate liver. If you've been here for a while watching the channel, you probably know like the thought of liver just kills me.
Yeah.
So I've never been able to eat it. And I know that Dr. Berry says to grow up and eat your liver, and I'm like, I get it, okay, whatever. But we actually bought some of the, is it Ancestral?
Ancestral supplements.
Yep, we bought some of their liver supplements.
Yep. It's the one Dr. Berry and Nisha talk about, and they're like, if you can't eat liver,
take these.
Get these. It's the closest you'll
get. So I have tried taking liver capsules before, and I could not do it. I mean, could not. The smell, the taste, I just, no. So we bought some of these, and we actually put them in our freezer. And so I've actually been taking 2 a day.
Yep.
And I have noticed my energy levels have gone up. I can just already tell I'm feeling so much better.
Yeah.
So I'm now implementing a lot more liver by taking the frozen liver capsules every day. And I will say, if you guys struggle like I do to eat liver, freezing them and then popping them is great, because there will be no taste, no smell, no nothing. And it's made a huge difference. The other thing is being more physically active. I feel like that is something that I've always kind of done, but not intentionally. So I take Mel either to the park or on a walk every single day, sometimes twice a day. So I do that, but then we also actually bought a exercise bike, which we put in the studio, and so I've been working out on that 3 days a week. I also came to Chris and I said, hey, so, because I do ketovore, meat heavy keto most of the time. Sometimes I'm carnivore, it just kind of depends. But I'm actually to the point where I feel like if I lost basically 30 pounds, I would weigh what I would weigh in high school. And so I feel like I've lost so much, but I'm just right there. And I know there's so much more than the scale, but sometimes I get mad and I'm like, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
So to kind of just encourage myself though to be maybe a little bit more stricter, I actually am going to start doing BBBE plus coffee and plus recipes. And I'm just going to just try it. I've done BBBE, but it's only been for like 2 to 3 days at a time.
Right.
I've never done it for like a longer extended period. But I think from clearly being Keto Carnivore to doing BBBE plus Chris's like carnivore recipes, that's a pretty big switch. So I'm going to start to implement that though and just see how I do. And I'm not really putting a lot of pressure or anything on it, but I think I'm kind of going into all of these things with an open mind of like, here are some things that I could basically do that I think would just improve my health. And they would be small actions that could maybe help me get further down my health journey to where I would like to be. Mm-hmm. So just being very intentional about all of that. And, you know, like Chris said, clearly I've taken on a lot of admin work for Chris Cooking Nashville and a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, also trying to monitor my cortisol, which today I don't feel like I'm doing a good job at, to be honest, but I'm working on it and I'm really trying. And so, yeah. But I think just those small changes and just kind of being aware, listening to the body and figuring out like what do we need to do, you know, what's a small step that we can take. But that's kind of what we're doing here. So you guys feel free to comment down below. Tell us if you're like, oh yeah, you know, this gave me the idea of, you know, maybe something I could do, just a small something that you could start this week to kind of implement that might actually kind of help you move along in your health journey. Whether you're stuck or not, I think it's kind of cool just to, you know, think about the next step. And I also, you know, I know a lot of people do challenges and a lot of stuff like that, which I think is cool. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I kind of like to just realize that everybody's body is different.
Yeah.
And what works for one person may not work for another. So my whole goal with all this is like, just try it. You know, stick with it for a certain amount of time. And if it works for you, then awesome.
Yeah.
But don't force yourself to do it if you're not seeing results or if there's issues. Like, don't feel bad about it. But always be trying to look for that next step and what you can do to better your health and better your life.
Absolutely.
By the way, guys, I'm so sorry. So we went live this morning, and usually I have been moderating the comments and doing stuff, but I don't know what happened. I think they updated our software.
Yeah.
There's not a lot. There's no option for me to do that. But let me see here. I'm wondering if I can.
Well,
like, do you want to go through?
Well, yeah. So let's go through and let's say hey to some folks.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this one up real quick, and then I'll give you the mouse because you are more aware of what's in the comment section than me. If you
I can probably just pull it up from my phone if you want.
Can you pull it up?
I think
know
that should be fine.
I know it won't let you star them, but
no, let me star them.
But hopefully it'll pull them up.
See,
so
great example. StreamYard that we use to stream.
Yeah.
Just raised my cortisol level.
Right.
But you know what?
We're just gonna roll with it. That's right.
You roll with it. Yes,
That's
exactly.
Right. That's right. So.
Yep.
So we're gonna pop this one up real quick. Mr. Keto Simple Dustin is here. Our lovely friend says Chris and Ash are gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. Thank you so much for the super chat, Dustin.
Yes.
And yes, I do feel like sometimes I'm the texture of a gummy bear, so I don't know about...
I've always said that you are like a big teddy bear.
I'm a big teddy bear,
I've never said he's a gummy bear, but Chris is. He is like so kind. He's just like a big, soft, warm, cuddly teddy bear.
I don't know about any of that. So, but thank you, Dustin, very much for the super chat. We appreciate the support. And if you guys don't subscribe to Dustin over at Keto Simple, you definitely need to. Very, very cool. So.
Oh, definitely. But
yeah.
Cool. Well, let's say hey to some beautiful
say hey
people.
To some people.
Well, you know what?
It's not going to let you pull it up, is it?
No. Let me see. Can you see that up there? Yeah. Looks like you can.
Does it? Okay.
Let's see. See if you guys can see that.
All right.
Jeffrey Cox says, "Good morning, you two beautiful souls and all you meat-eating peeps. I'll be purposely away paying that mortgage and listening in between patients as always. Hope y'all have a wonderful day."
Well, that's fair. It's fair. We appreciate you very, very much, Jeff. And one of our Rockstar members, a good example of what it is like in the band to have people in there who are celebrating their victories. And he's not just celebrating his victories of his own, but I know he sent us a message that his wife had texted him a picture of the meal she was eating, and it was a carnivore meal.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And he was so happy and so excited because he's not like beating her up and trying to like make her feel bad if she's not eating carnivore like him or anything.
Yeah.
But over time, she is getting more and more excited about keto and carnivore because she's feeling good, and his family is seeing the effects it's had on him and stuff. And so just in a beautiful and kind and gentle way, he is inspiring his family, and he shares the celebration of when they get excited about it. And like that's such a cool thing. So we love that kind of stuff.
Definitely. I think here's what will probably make the most sense, guys. Sorry, it'll be a little bit different today, but I think I'm going to go through and we'll just say hey to some folks.
Okay.
And then
pop up anything maybe that's really, really like something people need to see maybe?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So let's go through here. But we got the wonderful Miss Janelle.
Hello, Janelle, one of our rockstar moderators here.
I tell you what, she has dropped so many links in here, you guys. Please say thank you to Janelle and to all of our awesome Rockstar moderators. But Janelle is here, I think, for almost every stream and is just so kind and so hardworking.
She's amazing.
We love and appreciate her. Lynn is here, 22Q Cat.
Hello, Lynn.
The beautiful Holly Springer is here.
Hi, Holly.
Love Holly, so glad you're here. Lewis Stone is here.
Hello, Lewis, another one of our band members.
Yep. And a wonderful human being.
And a wonderful human being. And a rock star. Did a really cool interview with Cindy DeManch.
Oh, yeah, we loved that.
Yeah, very cool.
Very cool. Your mom is here.
Hello, Mom. I see it says you're waving from ISS.
Yep, that's right. Peggy is in the house.
Hello, Peggy.
DJ Magic Man. He says, morning, CCN crew.
What's up, Matt? How are you?
Yeah. Let's see here. Auntie's here.
Hello, Auntie, another Rockstar moderator. We got to see her in person.
Don't be jealous.
In California.
Yeah.
We got all the hugs. It was fantastic.
We got to hang out with Auntie for a whole weekend. It was awesome.
It was great.
We love Auntie. Richard Williams is in the house.
Well, hello, neighbor in Copper Hill.
The sweet Miss Yogi is here.
Hello, Yogi.
She says, hey, y'all, good morning. Happy Monday.
Yes, happy Monday. We're glad you're here.
Patricia Hoffman is here.
Hello, Patricia, or Grandma, as she always calls herself.
I was going to say, yep. She says, hey to all from Grandma in sunny South Carolina.
Love it.
Love it. Debbie, Purple Love and Donna is in the house.
Hello, Debbie.
Miss Kay is here.
Hi, Aunt Kay.
So glad Aunt Kay is here. So many beautiful people here.
Yes.
Dennis is here. He says, hey, y'all. Can't stay. Just popped in to say hi. I'm heading to Nashville for a concert. I'll watch the replay. Have fun.
Well, very cool. Well, hello, Dennis, on the replay. We hope you had a great time at the concert.
Yeah, that's awesome. Addicted to Antlers is in the house.
Hello.
They say they love my AI action figure. Well, thank you. It made us chuckle. And I made one for Chris too, which I'm sure he'll share soon.
Yeah.
Chris's is pretty awesome, man. It's pretty great. Let's see here. Rockin' Keto Amy is here.
Hello, Amy.
Jackie is here.
Hi, Jackie.
I always love seeing that. Noelle is here. Says, good morning, everyone.
Hello, Noelle, one of our newer band members.
And we love you. We're so glad you're here.
Yes, we're very glad you're here.
Let's see. Sherry Nevada Pup is in the house.
All right. Hello, Sherry.
We got Mr. Rick Charger Mopar here.
Hello, Rick. Hope you're having a good day.
Yes. Patricia Hoffman says we all need an Ash in our lives. And I think, honestly, that's why we kind of created the band, though, because I think, we also need a Chris in our lives who will go make us things like carnivore mashed potatoes. But that's the beauty of community, to keep each other accountable, to when you're having a rough day, be like, no, hold on, let's come on back. It's really, really cool. Auntie says, how to make healthy / keto, etc. choices in super stressful times equals my life currently today is respect myself. Yes, Auntie. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Carrie is here. I love this comment from Lynn, 22Q Cat. So she says, take advantage of everything Chris and Ash have to offer you on this channel and everywhere, people. This type of thing wasn't available when I started this lifestyle 8 years ago. They are a blessing.
Oh, well, you're very, very sweet. We are doing everything we can to help as many people as possible. And we love so much the messages we get of the work that we do.
Yes.
And it impacting someone and them saying, here's the real impact what you just did had in my life. And I have had a bunch of messages of like, I've been eating your recipes and maybe some stricter carnivore stuff, using your recipes to stay consistent, all this kind of stuff. I've lost 60 pounds. I've lost 80 pounds. I've lost 100 pounds. And I'm just like, how cool is that to get to be a part of someone's journey like that?
Yeah.
And that's why we have that private community, because we want to be directly involved in helping all of you on our journeys, and it's so much easier to do it in that group. You can't do the kinds of things on YouTube that we can do in that community, because I mean, you can message each other, you can do like extra stuff. I can share files with you guys. Like there's all kinds of stuff we can do over there, and it's just a lot of fun to get to help people.
Yeah,
it
definitely.
really is.
Definitely. I love this comment from Noelle. Says, it's a journey and a lifestyle, not a diet.
Yes, absolutely.
Very, very, very,
absolutely.
Very true. Yes. Target Prime Rib is here.
Hello.
Great username. I love that.
Love that.
Says, hello, Chris. I have seen you on Homestead How.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Yeah, that was a little while back. I was on there with Carrie Mann, but that was a lot of fun.
It was, yeah.
Did a little interview with him. I'm really glad that you're here. So, and again, love your handle, Target Prime Rib. That's fantastic.
Makes me hungry. I like it.
Love a good prime rib.
Yeah. And Lovely Chaos says that they also love Dr. Kiltz.
Yes, he is fantastic.
And wonderful, wonderful guy.
Yes.
Janelle says PhD is a big learning curve. First step is to be willing to get out of popular mainstream opinions on health.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. That's very true. And that's a lot of reprogramming the brain. I mean, it really, really is.
Yeah.
Jennifer Jones is here. She says, I caught you live from Ohio.
Well, very cool. Glad that you were here, and thank you for showing up from Ohio. Now, what part of Ohio?
Yeah.
Because I'm from Southeast Indiana, down near the Cincinnati area. So Cincinnati is where I went growing up all the time when we needed to like get out of the cornfields. Cincinnati was the closest place for us to do so.
Yeah. This is awesome. So Carlton's Corner Road says, psoriasis, no drugs, meat, salt, water, 8 months now. It is starting to disappear. My skin is starting to look normal. Thanks for the shout out last time for my weight loss. And then, let me see if I think that comment got cut off. And now this froze. Give me just a second here. They're killing me, guys. They're killing me. But I mean, that's incredible. I mean, doing meat, salt, water for 8 months. I mean,
yeah,
and having that
really,
much improvement.
That's really, really cool. Also, the thing that you have to sort of take into account with all of the, things like, say, psoriasis, like the skin issues and that kind of stuff, like that takes time.
Oh, it does.
For your body to heal and regenerate new skin, and it comes out, and like there's multiple layers of your skin. Mm-hmm. So the things that are in those cells that cause things like psoriasis, like that all has to work its way out. And this is why we're talking about, like, it's a journey and not an overnight thing.
Yes.
You can't go meat, salt, water and think, oh, my psoriasis will be gone in 2 weeks. Like that's, maybe it'll respond that fast, but probably not. It's probably going to take time. And it sounds like you're doing amazing.
Losing weight, fixing skin issues, it's all a thing.
Absolutely amazing.
Babe, do you think you can find where I was in the comments? I'm so sorry,
yeah. No,
guys.
it's okay. Let's
Technical
see.
difficulties.
Here, let me just do that, because you can just use a little scrolly wheel and click.
I don't think I can see though the comments from there.
That's okay. We'll move it. It's the best thing about a computer. You can move the screen.
You can?
Yeah.
Let's see.
All right. So we're gonna grab that. We're gonna do that. And I'm just gonna give you total control of the mouse, and I'm just gonna trust.
You're gonna, let's see here. Figure out how I use Chris's mouse. Let's see.
Scrolly wheel in the middle for up and down.
Do me a favor, scroll for me just for a second.
Here.
Hang tight, guys. I'm so sorry. The screen.
Someone over here is struggling to use
yes,
the mouse.
it is.
Right here is a scrolly wheel, up and down.
Okay, let me find out where we were. Well, let's see. Yeah, I like literally had the whole screen pause on my phone. It's just not working.
Yeah.
There we go. But yeah, 8 months, and then let's see here. Let's go down. And this is awesome. Target Prime Rib says, Chris, first time in your live chat.
Yeah, very, very cool.
That is super, super cool. Absolutely love that.
Go. That way you can show.
Lewis Stone says, let's see if we can show this guy. your body will find its ideal body weight. It will also change depending on conditions. It has nothing to do with the mythical number you picked in your head.
Right.
That is very, 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 very true. I love that.
It's also something that, we have to understand is like you have to realize what you think your body should weigh is absolutely irrelevant to what your body is willing to weigh, because weight is nothing more than a number a scale is showing you based on gravity's pull on your body.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
So if it's a higher number than you want, if it's a lower number than you want, it really doesn't matter. What you want that number to be is completely irrelevant, right? So if you think the number should be a certain thing and your body is healthy right where it is, it's not going to move. Because it doesn't want to. So I think we assign all of these arbitrary numbers to the idea of health, and like, oh, if I just weighed blah 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 blah, I would be healthy. You don't actually know that.
Yeah.
How you weigh that is just as important as if you weigh that. And if you have muscle weighs more than fat. So you can be really ripped and have a lot of really dense muscle and dense bone and all this kind of stuff and be really strong. And the number may not be what you want it to be.
It's true.
So there's a lot of things that go into it, which is why the scale will lie to you, and the scale is kind of a waste of time.
Yeah. I love it. This comment, by the way, let's see, I think we'll be able to show this one as well. Purple Love and Anna says, I wish I had a live accountability partner here at home to help me in my low periods. That's why we're here, though.
Yeah, that's why we're here, because we know everyone doesn't always have that. But
Chris and I love to be that for y'all, and you guys are honestly that for us. That's the thing about a community. So when you feel low, when you feel down, it's like, come join us, man. That's why we're here. SW has a good question. Says, I think we kind of already talked about this, but says, do you guys ever try BBBE or the Lion diets?
So we've never done the Lion diet. The only reason we've never done the Lion diet is eating nothing but red meat and salt and water makes me feel like jumping out of my window. And not that maybe I wouldn't eventually get to where I want to try that, but I think I get this comment from people all the time. Thank you so much for your recipes. I was really struggling to stay stable on carnivore because I got so tired of just eating meat. And even if eating red meat, salt, and water is the ideal thing health-wise, and I'm not entirely sure if I think it is. I think for some people it is. If you have like really bad autoimmune disease type stuff going on, maybe meat, salt, water is necessary. But truthfully, I don't think humans came from a lifestyle of eating meat and salt and water and nothing else. I think they ate mostly meat, and I think a lot of times it was red meat.
Sure.
But if you talk about humans trying to survive, and they're just going to eat whatever is available to them. If they found a few wild berries, they ate it. If they found wild honey, they ate it. If they found a bird of some kind they could kill, that they didn't have to chase down the, 2,000-pound animal to kill and whatever, but it gave them some sustenance until they could kill the 2,000-pound animal, they ate it, right? So I think there are people that have very, very, very severe issues that probably need red meat, salt, and water, the Lion diet. But I don't think most people need that. Not that you can't try it. Maybe it does help you. I don't know. But I don't know that is just the only ultimate thing for every single person on the planet. I don't think there's a lot of evidence that would say that. So we haven't done it. I think it just sounds kind of miserable because I don't have any autoimmune issues that would make it more pleasant to only eat red meat and then not have to deal with those issues.
Right. But with that being said, for us, we haven't tried it because we're not in a situation we need to. We do know people, though, that needed the Lion diet, meat, salt, water. And
Michaela Peterson is a good example of someone who it's like, she doesn't eat red meat, salt, water for fun. She talks about this. She's like, I'd love to have all these other things.
Right.
I don't have all these other things because I'm more miserable with the health issues I have than I am by not eating all of those other things.
Yeah.
So, it's a trade-off for her. So she's like, yes, I will eat red meat, salt water, even though it's not my favorite thing, because the life that I live is more important. And so for someone like that, I think it's probably necessary.
Yeah. I think this is kind of what we're talking about today, though, is experimenting and trying things that will help you on your health journey.
Yeah.
So for
Nothing
someone,
wrong with trying it. Go for it.
Yeah. Whether it's like BBBE, like we were talking about, we're going to kind of start trying that, plus recipes and coffee and whatnot. But then it's like, it just depends on where you're at. But there's nothing wrong with trying it. And that's a great question. Speaking of trying things and kind of getting out of your funk and moving forward, I love this comment from Rockin' Keto Amy. Says, I said I would have never drank black coffee. Well, I saw for 2 years and had to cut out the HWC.
Yeah. Dairy is one of those things that I'll find a lot of people try cutting out, and they feel like it makes a really big difference for them. And I have cut out dairy at times in the past. I don't necessarily know if I really feel that much different without dairy, but I'm sure it would probably help with weight loss. But then again, it also makes it a thing of, well, if you cut out the dairy and then you are not stable anymore, is that going to help? And so, for like someone like Amy, who cuts out the heavy whipping cream from the coffee and finds that she gets great results from it, that's amazing. That's awesome. If you're one of those people who says, I want to do that, but I don't think I can do it, try it. And if you need to flex back the other way because you feel like you're not stable and you're going to go off the rails, okay, work on it. And you can go back and forth and kind of work at this and try to level up a little at a time and get better and better. It's not like you make the decision to do it today, and then if you don't do it perfectly, then it's all over. And I think we sometimes tend to put too much of a life or death kind of attitude towards those sorts of things. So try it. Try to feel better. If you come back on, suddenly you're eating dairy again, okay, maybe stabilize, then try it again. Keep going at that. So we're going to do the BBBE thing plus the recipes that I'm doing on the days that I do those, and plus coffee. And if we start experiencing problems, maybe we'll flex back the other way, and then maybe we try it again. It's, it doesn't have to be a dogmatic, rigid, strict, beat yourself up if you don't do it perfectly approach.
Yeah. As long as you're just moving forward.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the key thing. And even if you fall off the path or the wagon, just get back on and go back to moving forward.
Yeah.
I wanted to show this comment too from Amy, which I absolutely love. I feel like I got all the devices here today. Amy says, I love hanging with this family while my husband is on the journey with me. He isn't empathetic about being in the groups and on social media. It's great to have such a wonderful support network.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, sometimes the people who are closest to us are the ones that have the most impact and the ones that have the least empathy for what we're trying to do. Not because they mean to, but because everyone is on their own journey up here.
Yeah.
And if they're not ready to accept this the way that you are, it can be a weird clash of viewpoints. And it can be very hard to do this on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot imagine if I would not have had Ash being supportive as I was doing all of this. I can't imagine how I would have ever gotten to just even where I am now, let alone move forward. So it's hard, but when you have that kind of stuff going on, you lean into our private community, you lean into the chats, you lean into this community here that can support you, and that way you're not alone.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You're not alone. And that's the thing for you guys. You're never alone. We're always here.
Janelle says, LOL, I love the squat idea. It makes you stop and think.
Yeah.
Andy says, do diddly squats count?
Oh, I mean, if that works for you, go for it.
Yeah. Target Prime Rib, I love this. Chris, what kind of friends do you like to eat with? Answer, taste buds.
Yes. I like that.
Let's see. Janelle says she loves my earrings. Thank you, sweet friend. Keto Simple says, welcome home, you two.
Yes, thank you, Dustin. It was a fun trip to California, but we're glad to be back sleeping in our own bed.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. The wonderful Mr. John Wise is here. Juju B is here.
Hey, Juju.
We love Juju B. She's awesome, man.
Speaking of John Wise, if you guys have not seen his name pop up before, it pops up regularly. He's got a heck of a story, too.
Oh, he does.
Really, really cool. So.
No, we have, you guys, if you guys follow the comment section or like when people start sharing stuff.
Amazing.
I mean, we got some really cool people with incredible stories in here.
Absolutely.
Jackie says squats to eat is brilliant.
Yeah, well, thank you. It just kind of hit me. I was just thinking about it. So I'll tell you guys, one of the things that I think I really struggle with is I enjoy flavor and I enjoy playing around in the kitchen. So if I'm not hungry, but I'm in a creative mood, I kind of want to go eat something because it seems fun.
Right.
You know, and it's like, and I don't binge and I don't, do the things that I used to do, which is why I don't struggle with this, the same issues anymore. But I still want to make sure that I'm continually working to train my body to recognize the difference between hunger and boredom.
Yes.
And it's hard sometimes. And so I sort of looked at it and I was like, I've got to do something that helps me really think about this in the moment. Because it's so easy to start eating and then suddenly go, why am I eating this? I'm not even hungry. And then I'm like, 3/4 of it's already gone and I'm about to finish it. And I'm like, I wasn't even hungry. Why did I do that? Because it's just so habitual. It's so automatic. It's so get in your creative space, especially as a recipe creator. So I stopped and I thought, well, what can I do? And it just kind of hit me of like, I should be doing squats anyway because I got big thunder thighs, okay? I just do. And the way that my body is shaped, I've just got big legs. And so I was like, oh, well, if I have those big thigh muscles, from the years of playing soccer and being in taekwondo and all the things that I did where I developed all those leg muscles growing up, it's like, if I've got those big muscles in there anyway, let's use those big muscles to burn through some energy and start keeping my body burning the fat for energy. Since I'm in ketosis anyway, let's burn that fat for energy. And then that's a great way to force myself to have a habit to think about, are you really hungry? And so it kind of solved multiple things all at the same time.
Yeah, I love it. Jackie says, just remember to hit the like button icon on both channels.
Yes, thank you so much. We appreciate that. And we are very close on the Studios channel to being fully monetized. So if you guys can like that and watch the videos over there and just set a playlist and just let it play, we would appreciate that to get those watch hours.
Definitely, yeah. Thank you guys just for being here and hitting the thumbs up.
Yeah.
The beautiful Miss Liz Williams is in the house.
Hi, Liz.
Always love that.
Yeah.
And I have to say, John Wise always cracks me up, and I love this man. This is what he says about the scale, and I think I can't really say it, but you can see the angry face with the zip, and then he says the scale. So that's right. It's like, darn the scale, man. There's more indicators than just that. So
yeah, absolutely.
Really, really well.
There's more indicators than that, and there's a lot more important indicators than that.
Yeah.
Dr. Kiltz actually has this thing that he says, and he said this in the podcast, and I thought this was a beautiful thing. No disease in the world is caused by obesity.
Oh, yeah. When he said that, that was a really good point.
Obesity is a symptom of another disease. Obesity is not the cause of the disease. Obesity is the symptom of a disease. So if you stop worrying about how big or small you are and you just fix the problems, the obesity will take care of itself in time.
Yes.
But stop focusing on it. The extra fat on your body is not what's making you sick. The extra fat is because you are sick.
Yeah.
That's a big shift in perspective that a lot of people, I think, would do well to think about.
Yeah, when he said that, I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Janelle says stress and cortisol. I like to listen to Crystal singing bowl frequencies. It really helps me.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I've heard some people do that, and it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Let's see. Charger Mopar says that he'll put on a record to distress. I mean, there's so many things like that I think y'all can do.
Yeah.
Sherry says, I can't do squats. My knees have no strength to get me back up. I just tried it. I will need to think of something else.
Yeah.
But it could be any kind of movement.
Any kind of movement.
Yeah.
Squats are one thing, but, so here's another thing, too. So if you can't do squats because you try it and you're like, oh, I don't have the strength in my knees to get back up or whatever, now you have a goal. Isn't that cool? You try something, you realize you can't do it, and then you go, okay, so there's a new metric. Guess what? By trying, you just found direction. You go, oh, I can't do squats. Cool. Okay, so what can you do then? Can you maybe sit and sort of use your arms, like as you're sitting here this way, can you use your arms to help yourself stand up out of a chair
Yeah.
Can you do that 5 times?
You know,
So you're not squatting,
Yeah.
but you're using your leg muscles and strengthening them, so eventually you could do squats.
maybe if you want to start like super small, I'm even thinking I call our downstairs the racetrack at times, because it's kind of shaped kind of like that. It kind of goes like in a big thing from the living room, the kitchen, the dining room, laundry room. It's just like a big circle. But like maybe you just get up and you just take a lap around your living room,
Start
or a lap
walking
around
around
your
your
kitchen.
living room.
Yeah, just get up and do that before you do it, because it makes you. Do I need to really get out of this chair to go do that right now?
Right.
I really want to show this comment too, because healing and weight loss and all this stuff that we're talking about, it's always like a full body thing.
Yeah.
And part of that is the spiritual aspect of that. And, Chris and I openly talk about our faith here on this channel all the time. And if you don't believe the way that we do, we still love you. You're welcome.
Absolutely.
But Noelle makes this point that it's the world's way. Important to get off that roller coaster and do things the kingdom way.
Absolutely.
We were talking about how in society it's just really overglorified to be super stressed out all the time and go and just you do all this stuff and we're not rats or hamsters spinning on a wheel. It's really, really different.
Come to me, all you who are heavy laden, and I will give you rest.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It is the importance of rest, and whether you agree with our faith outlook or not, again, totally fine. You don't have to agree. We love all of you. But the concept of if you are heavy laden, you need to lay that down and have rest.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
My burden is easy, or my yoke is easy and my burden is light.
Mm-hmm.
Like that concept, like you have got to be able to get the stress off of your shoulders. You cannot carry that stress your entire life. It will end you.
Yeah, you were not meant to.
Right.
That's the thing. We were not meant to this. Love this comment from Miss Jackie. She says, I have recently added a few daily Alexa notifications to get up and move. In blocks. Still figuring out those movements, some squats, some counter push-ups, some backwards stair steps. I mean, that's incredible though. That's awesome.
Great.
Also, what a cool way to use the modern things we have, like technology.
Yeah, using technology to keep you accountable for it.
Yes, exactly.
It's a great idea.
Yeah. The beautiful Miss Jennifer Lucas is here.
Hello, Jennifer.
Peggy says, such a great goal to reduce cortisol. You and your family should come before all of us. We love you both, but your health is more important.
Yeah.
This actually goes for everyone.
Yes.
Peggy, thank you for saying that, and we really that means a lot and appreciate that, and we just love you. But agreed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that really does go for everyone.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. John Wise says there is no straight line with PhDs. Most of us take the scenic route.
Yep. Absolutely. There's a lot. There's a lot
Yeah.
of learning on that scenic route, and that's kind of the whole point.
Yeah. Marilda is here.
Hello, Marilda.
Love this comment from SBJ. Let's put that on up here for folks. It says down 40 pounds officially today. Feeling great.
Amazing.
Y'all
rock on.
Put a rock on in the comments. And look at this. All these people are already encouraging as we're going through the chat here.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. Let's see. Target Prime Rib says, I made some mozzarella sticks once with pork rinds. It tasted good, but you, Chris Cooking Nashville, would have made it better.
So I appreciate that. I did make it better.
I know you did.
I have a mozzarella stick video. If you did not know, I have a mozzarella stick video on this channel and show you how to make a breading to deep fry some mozzarella sticks. So when you get a chance, since you like mozzarella sticks, when you get a chance, go check that out. Try it and let me know what you think.
Yeah, those mozzarella sticks were really, really good.
Oh my gosh, they were so good.
Also, Target Prime Rib, incredible, says, I have brought my A1C from 8.9 to 7.6 and started to be fully carnivore on January 1st, 2025.
Excellent.
Hell yeah, my friend.
Yeah, and that
Get it.
A1C is just going to keep on coming down. Just stick to that carnivore, keep those carbs low, and keep healing, and watch that A1C keep coming down.
Yeah.
Now, we don't give medical advice here. It's all purely anecdotal and just informational and educational purposes. No medical advice. But if I were you, I would just continue with carnivore and watch that A1C keep coming down.
Yeah, it's kind of from our own experience for sure.
Yep.
Janelle says, liver is a good thing. I usually take ancestral supplements. Call me a liver wimp.
Yeah.
Janelle, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I'm just happy. If you would have told me 2 years ago that I would daily be taking liver capsules even, I'd have been like, I just can't. But
we tried getting liver capsules for you back the first time we did keto because Ash does not do liver. And there are bad memories and trauma type things that she has talked about on the channel. They're related to why she cannot eat liver. So it's not just a grow up and eat your liver thing, because when Dr. Berry says learn to eat your liver, totally makes sense, and he's right.
Yeah.
This is a little bit of a different situation for her specifically.
It's not that I'm a picky eater or that I'm trying to be difficult, but liver makes me think of my dad and some bad stuff. And when you have that mental block in your head,
that's very
good
difficult.
Luck, man.
Yeah.
So I intentionally stay away from things that remind me of that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Because you just have a bad it's an emotional response, but it's a full body response.
It is. There's a lot more that's tied into that than just not liking the taste of liver. So when we did this the first time, you couldn't even take one liver capsule without thinking about the fact that you had just eaten liver, and like she would literally be on the couch in tears struggling with that. So a lot of healing, a lot of change that she can even do that with, taking those capsules. And I'm very proud of her.
Thank you, babe. It took 2 years of lots of hard work.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
But I'm doing it, and I've done it now for several weeks steady, and I've seen a big improvement.
Absolutely.
So, feeling good.
It's great.
Miss Yogi says, hey, y'all, remember to put a thumbs up, pretty please.
Yes, please, please, please.
Thank you. So sweet. Jeffrey Cox says, yes, join the band. It's the best loving community. Not paid to say this, and I didn't even think that I cared about a tribe until I joined, but it fills a spot we all need to be a part of a tribe.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. I didn't realize that I needed a community until after we did this the first time, and I fell off the wagon and I went off the rails and struggled, and I had no one to be accountable to other than my beautiful wife here, who was so kind as to not just punch me for being like, I think I'm just going to eat some of this other stuff now, just this once. And, it was a whole process, but I needed a community to be in front of and be accountable to.
Yeah. And I think we all do. That's part of it.
Absolutely.
Juju B, that's my girl right there. She says, I'm officially 20 pounds less than when I got married almost 20 years ago.
Amazing.
Let's go.
Rock on, Juju.
Yeah. Yes, I love that. Marilda says, I eat liver once a week. It can raise a person's uric acid. Also shrimp. Be careful.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Marilda. Good to know.
Yep.
Let's see here. You know what? We're going to put this one up on the screen.
Okay.
Let's see here. Solar Dare, cool name, says, anyone have any tips that can help along a carnivore journey, as I'm pretty sure I'm doing something wrong. 155 days in, 155 days, 25 of those were lion diet and feeling very fatigued. My severe OCD intrusive.
Sure. Okay. So the fatigue, there could be a lot of reasons for that, but the fatigue, I would suggest, just from what and again, not medical advice, just my own thoughts and experiences here. Check your electrolytes, because when you are feeling fatigued, a lot of times you're either not getting enough electrolytes, especially salt, sodium, but also magnesium and potassium. Salty electrolytes are our favorite. So make sure you're getting your electrolytes. The next thing is make sure you're getting enough fat. Because if you're not getting enough fat, your body is going to struggle, and you may feel some severe fatigue from that. And then the third thing is just make sure you're eating enough, because when you go lion diet, you legitimately reduce what you're doing so far that you may not be eating enough. Right? And if you're not eating enough, your body is going to struggle for sure. Now, as far as like OCD, any of the mental health stuff, number one, fat. Butter, animal fats, fat, because the fat is really good for the ketosis, and your brain burns ketones much better than glucose. And if you're struggling with that kind of stuff, fat will help your brain. Fat is good for your brain. So that's the first thing I would say. The second thing, go look up Dr. Georgia Eads. She has a bunch of information on mental health and proper human diets, way more qualified to help you with that than we are. And then the other thing that I would say is, even if you deal with all of this stuff with your diet and do all of these things, there's no harm in talking with a psychologist to try to have them figure out how to help you. Like, being a carnivore or even being on the lion diet does not make us bulletproof. There are still things that we may need extra help and extra intervention for. And maybe not. That may not be the case. Maybe you just need a bunch of electrolytes and more fat, and you just need to make sure you're eating enough, and maybe that'll take care of the whole thing. I don't know. You could also go to Dr. Barry's live streams that he does.
That's what I was going to suggest.
And ask him a question. Say, here's what I've done, whatever. You're going to have to probably buy a super chat, because he gets thousands of comments. There is no way he's probably going to see your comment in the midst of all of these other comments because so many people ask him questions every time he's live. But pay, a couple bucks, $5, whatever, for a super chat, tell him what you're going through, and ask him if he has any tips. And he might be able to give you some more direction than I can, and might be able to give you some help. But I mean, it sounds to me like you're doing really well. And I think it's hard because we want to see things fix themselves. And sometimes being stricter doesn't make it fix itself faster. Sometimes it's what Dr. Barry and Nisha would call vitamin P, and it's just patience. But maybe that's it. Maybe it's not. I'm not a doctor, so maybe someone else here has some tips if they've dealt with this. But those are my thoughts.
Sure. I was clearly everything I agreed, and we're not doctors, but just from a community standpoint, I mean, this is why we do these Monday morning live streams every Monday at 10 a.m. We also do a Backstage with Chris, which is a cooking live stream every Tuesday. We also have linked in the show notes. I know a couple people I've already seen have shared the link. We actually have a private community called The Band where we actually daily go in there. We're all interactive. You can not only talk to Chris and I, but other people. But to me, I think especially if you're struggling with things mentally, we have been there. We understand. We totally understand what you're going through, and our heart breaks for you. So please know that you're here. You are loved. You are supported. Come back every Monday or watch the replay. We have thousands of these. Come be in the chat just like you are. And I don't think I've ever seen your name before, so I'm assuming you're new. So welcome. But whether it's our live streams, other people's live chats, whether it's whatever, but it sounds to me like when you're struggling community, this is where you need a tribe around you to kind of help keep your mind focused and in the right place, and have encouragement and tips and advice, and kind of know that you're just not alone, and this is actually something that a lot of people may deal with.
Absolutely.
So please don't be a stranger, and you'll also be in our thoughts and prayers.
Let us support you.
Yes, absolutely. Please. I know that we have to get going here pretty soon, so I'm going to try to run through these.
Okay.
Noelle says, freezing the ancestral supplements is such a great idea. Hadn't thought of that. I have to give credit where credit is due. This guy right here, he was like, hey, what if we froze these? Because it takes away the taste and the smell. So if I just don't think about it, and the first time I took it, it was something to watch. I was like, I had to really warm up to it, guys. But I got it.
You also started taking them only one at a time. And I mean, ideally, probably 4 to 6 of them a day would be the best dose. But she only started at 1, and so she was taking 1 every day, and then she stepped it up to 2. And it's like it's a growing process, a little at a time. Yeah.
I want to touch on this really quick. Our friend Solar Deer that was just talking about this had a couple more comments, so sorry they're kind of long, but I think this is worth definitely mentioning real quick. So it says, they've also developed histamine intolerance due to having majority of meals being ground beef, as I'm on a fixed income due to health reasons. Should I stay with carnivore or swap to ketovore or keto, or even just a low histamine diet?
Histamines are a hard thing. I'm curious. I think my question would be, what is happening that makes you think it's a histamine intolerance?
No, that's a good one.
Because there can be lots of things happening. How do you know it's a histamine issue? Because so histamines come from if you're eating carnivore, especially lion diet. If you're struggling with a histamine issue, it's because meat is aged. Before they put meat in the case for you to buy at the grocery store, they have aged that. And the longer you age meat, the higher the histamine content is. So if you're struggling with histamines to a point where it's having a really bad effect on you, a lot of times what you have to do is find a place you can buy meat where they will sell it to you fresh without hanging it and aging it before they process it. That's hard also when you're on a fixed income, because you can't necessarily go to a local butcher and buy super expensive grass-fed meat that has just been come in and killed that day. It's a lot harder sometimes to do some of these things. So it's just tough.
Yeah.
It's just tough. So
it sounds to me, Solar Dare, and sorry, please comment your name. Just I use usernames, but let us know your name. It sounds like you would really benefit though, because I feel like we need to do a deep dive into. Okay, so why do you think it's this? what's going on with this. And we're not doctors,
Right.
but I'm really wondering if you should actually, what may even be more beneficial is join Dr. Barry's private community.
Right.
So there's, do you have a link to that in the show notes?
I don't think there's a link in the show notes here. Maybe one of the moderators could drop it into the comments for us.
Because in there, he has his health coaches. He has, of course, himself. That would be the ultimate resource to where you could actually go to someone who would know a lot more than Chris and I and could really diagnose maybe.
From the medical side.
From the medical side of things, what's going on.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thought, because I feel like this could be a series of questions where you really need like a coach to go through that.
Right.
You can disagree on me on this, but I'm also kind of wondering, because this is tough, honestly, to give advice because we don't have all of the whole picture that we're looking at.
Yeah.
But I feel like you should totally look into Dr. Barry, his privateness.
Yeah.
From the medical side of things. I also feel like coming back to live streams like this or joining like another private community, whether it's Chris and I's or whoever else, where you would have people on the journey with you and
maybe they've experienced the same thing and they can give you their tips.
Yes, that would be a great thing. Plus, if you're just feeling kind of low and struggling mentally, like having that kind of a thing. The other thing I'm wondering is, now do not go full bore in, like I'm talking like start baby steps here. So let's clarify that. Maybe if you really feel like you're really struggling, I definitely think you need more fat, more electrolytes, all that. So maybe try that for a week or two, see how you do. If you wanted to start incorporating a few things, maybe like some onions, but do it one thing at a time.
Yeah, very slowly.
Very slowly. I would not go like full bore into like keto and then start adding all this stuff. I would not do that.
Right. The other thing is, if you're struggling with, if it is truly a histamine issue and you have like, okay, here's the reasons I know it's a histamine issue. If it's histamines and that's coming from meat being aged, adding in veggies, you're still going to get the histamines in the meat that has been aged.
Exactly.
So it's probably not going to change anything. And then you're actually just introducing more carbohydrates in, which may actually make things worse. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe it would work for you. Maybe it wouldn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think understanding, if you think there's a histamine issue here, understanding what that is, why, and where those are coming from before you decide to switch is really important, because and this is not in any way a criticism to you. I think this is how we're all trained to think. I'm having an issue. I should probably go try something else.
Right.
Maybe, but before you do that, let's all slow down, and I have to tell myself this too. I'm having an issue. What factors within this thing are the source of that issue, and can I change those without going off? Because if you decided to do carnivore because there were things that carnivore was going to be good for you for, and you truly believe in that, you did the research of here's why I want to go carnivore, giving up on it to go back to this other thing, well, carnivore didn't cause those issues, right? Carnivore is not, there's nothing in a carnivore diet to cause those issues. So either they've always been there and you're just struggling with them, or there is something about what you're doing within the diet itself that is giving you too much of a particular thing, and dealing with that one factor is going to be much better for actually fixing your problem than just switching to something else entirely.
Yeah.
Right. So what I'm saying is, if you have a histamine issue because of aged meat, for example, switching to a ketovore or keto diet is not going to change what's in the meat. And then it actually may cause other issues because you're bringing other stuff back in. Now, maybe switching to keto or ketovore would fix that for you because it's not actually a histamine issue. I'm not sure. We're not nutritionists or doctors, but I'm just saying, like, go through all of the different elements and the reasons of why one thing would fix something before you just dive into trying something else to fix it.
Sure.
Because if you go this thing and then this one and then this one and then this one and then this one and nothing seems to work, but you don't really know why in any of them the problem existed in the first place, you're kind of just throwing darts at a map hoping you hit the right spot.
Yeah.
And that's like, we call it the spaghetti effect. You're throwing spaghetti at the wall to see if something will stick, right? It's this idea that when you cook spaghetti, it's not cooked until you throw it at the wall and it sticks. And so it's like you're just constantly throwing spaghetti at the wall waiting to see something to stick, and you're not really looking into it of, well, what is the actual cause of each of these things? And then what is my process to address that specific one cause? So you're doing really well. You just got to figure out how are you going to hone in and target the exact root cause of whatever the issue is, and pick that apart one at a time. And that's what Ash is saying, like a coach or, like a doctor or something may be beneficial, or maybe it's just community, our private community. Maybe there's people that can have, tips and tricks that can help you suss that out yourself. I'm not sure, but hone in like a sniper.
Yeah.
And take out that one thing that's causing your trouble, and it will help you really gain control over it. So we just have to figure out what that is for you.
Yeah. And then once from there, we can move on the journey.
Yeah.
John Long is here.
Hi, John.
He says, good morning. I missed the last few lives and just showed up late to this one, watching while working.
Well, that's all right. We're just glad you're here.
And Auntie says, oh, shucks, it was an amazing time that I definitely needed. Well, we love spending time with you.
Uh-huh.
Hey, here's our new friend, carnivore coach Lisa.
Oh, hello, Lisa.
We met Lisa and her wonderful hubby yesterday while we were at the Dr. Piltz, or I guess not yesterday, Saturday. At the Dr. Piltz podcast. She says, hello, Carn fam. Hello. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good to see you.
Absolutely. Let's see here. She says, wishing we were seeing y'all today. We're hanging out in Nashville until 3:30.
Sounds like fun.
Aw, well, thank you. We wish we were seeing you too. We're actually going to be heading out here in a minute. We got to get off. We have a good friend coming over, and they're going to be a taste tester.
Yep, we're filming a recipe video.
Yeah. Do we get to tell people what we're making, or do we have to wait?
We can tell them.
Tell them.
It's going to be coming out this coming Saturday.
Yes.
Yep. So this is a quick turnaround. We're filming today, and then I got to edit and get it out for Saturday. But we are doing carnivore. This has been a big request. Carnivore corn dogs.
Yes.
Yes. So our friend, I'm not going to tell you who. You guys got to tune in Saturday to see
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be amazing. A special guest will be on with us this coming Saturday, and his favorite food for years and years, long time ago, was corn dogs. And now that he's on a carnivore diet, he was like, man, can you figure out corn dogs? And I said, well, let me see what I can do. So we're going to film carnivore corn dogs today, and we're going to see what they turn out like, see what he thinks.
Yeah, I'm truthfully, I'm pumped for this, y'all. Yeah. Corn dogs is something like, I feel like that's kind of like that fair food kind of a thing, which I miss.
What was your favorite thing when we went to Sonic Drive-In, or when we went to like Cookout? The restaurant, she'd always get corn dogs as part of her meal.
Totally
Totally
why my butt blew up was the corn dogs. But if my husband can make a carnivore version, it's pretty awesome.
It's gonna be fun.
That's awesome. Coach Lisa says lifestyle changes are permanent changes. The habits make all the difference.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep. And looks like lots of people are giving our friend Solar Dare some really great information, which, see, I just love that.
Excellent.
Solar Dare, you're in the good place, man, not just with Chris and I, but look at all these amazing comments I'm seeing with just people encouraging you and giving you tips and advice. I'm like, man, that's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
It's really cool. And this is awesome. Target Prime Rib says, it is my channel name for YouTube, not as good as you, but I would be honored if you checked it out. Having my first official live tonight. Well, hey, dude,
very cool.
Listen, you're great. We're going to be filming, but if we have time, we'll check it out, man.
We'll definitely try to check out. Do me a favor. Take the link for your channel and send it to me on email, info@chriscookingnashville.com. info@chriscookingnashville.com. Send me that so that even if we're not able to tune in live, we can click that and come over and subscribe and maybe watch the replay.
Yeah, and just say hello.
Just be supportive. We would love to do that for you.
Anytime y'all start a channel, let us know. We don't care about how many followers or subscribers. We're just trying to get the word out to people to help change people's lives.
Absolutely.
So every time someone starts a channel, I mean, there was a day that no one watched Chris's channel. It was me.
There were a lot of days no one watched Chris's
channel.
There were
a lot of days. But I think it was me, your parents, and Lynn. But
yeah, pretty much.
That's awesome, man. Well, good for you. Get ready for tonight. That's very exciting.
That's great.
Amy says, I need some Monday morning motivation to clean my house.
Yeah.
Sister, preach it.
Understand that.
Coach Lisa says, yes, stay the course. We will get there, each of us. Remember, progress over perfection.
Absolutely. Every day. Every day.
Awesome. It looks like Dustin at Mr. Keto Simple, the man, the myth, the legend, the beard. He's already dropping links to Mr. Prime Rib's channel.
Excellent. So, you guys make sure to go subscribe to Target Prime Rib and show some love and support from the community.
Yeah. Carrie thinks it's cool that Ash has the control of the mouse. Carrie, these StreamYard people are about to get a taste of my mind. They're raising my cortisol. I love it. Let's see here. let's see. It looks like you guys are just killing the chat today. I love this. Jackie says, "Got to run to do a big service project, but leaving you guys running on both channels. Love you both."
Appreciate it,
Jackie. We love you so much. You are just such a wonderful human being, and just absolutely love that.
Absolutely.
Janelle says, "Dr. Sally Norton has several interviews on YouTube and also a book I have read. Great resource. I love Sally Norton.
Yep. Sally Norton is fantastic.
Yeah." Absolutely. Target Program says, "I think perception is the way to get into your loved one's head. They need to see your improvements, not hear them." I wish I could heart react that 1,000 times.
Yes. Truthfully, we talk, again, as Ash said, we talk about our faith on this channel a lot. One of the best ways for people to understand why we have a faith in Jesus is when they see you live like him, not when you preach at them about him. It's completely different, because there are plenty of Christians out there who will tell you the way you're living wrong and all the things you're doing wrong, and you look at them and it's like, why would I want to be like you?
Yeah.
And then there are people who I think actually live out their faith, which is the people that we try to be the best that we possibly can. And it's like you see them and it's like they're not going to preach at you, but they're just going to live in a way that makes you go, well, man, I want to be more like that. How are you like that? And then those people look at you and they go, well, it's not really about me.
Right.
I'm not the reason I'm this way. Jesus is the reason I'm this way. And it's that same kind of thing. If you want to show people that carnivore is a great way of life, yelling at them and screaming at them and beating them up for not doing carnivore and all this kind of stuff doesn't make them want to do it anymore. It's like, well, why would I want to be like you?
Yeah.
And that's why we just don't do the dogmatic thing, and it's just not helpful to anybody. We're trying to change the world and encourage people and change the world one plate at a time. So
yes, absolutely.
You do that by loving people right where they are and encouraging them to be better.
Absolutely. Juju B says, "Dear people, love everyone. I'll sort out the rest later. Love God." She gets it.
Yep, absolutely.
That's awesome. Well, guys, I think we're gonna have to unfortunately go ahead and get going. Like we were saying, we got a taste tester who's gonna be here soon.
We got to get ready.
We do. We got to get ready. We're really excited. Anything else that you wanted to share with folks really quick?
Yeah. So there's a couple of different things. So we've got the video coming out Saturday for the Carnivore Corn Dogs. So you guys get excited about that and get ready to share that. We've got the private community linked in the description box. We would love to see you join. It's $10 a month. It's not much, but you get so much more value than that $10 is worth with all the people in there and all the access to things and some extra recipes and all kinds of stuff that we do. We'd love to see you guys join over there. We have the live stream tomorrow night.
Yes.
Tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, we are doing Backstage with Chris. It is going to be a blast. And we are doing a proper human diet approach to stuffed peppers. It's going to be fun. It's going to be really, really cool. So I think it's going to be very tasty and very fun. And we would love to see you there. Bring your recipe questions. Also, if you guys didn't know, if you were part of Dr. Barry's group, The Tribe, there's actually now a dedicated space in there called Cooking with Chris. Because I'm going to be more involved over there doing some stuff in the Tribe. So if you are a member of Dr. Barry's group, make sure to go over to the Mighty Networks group, over to the Tribe, go to that Chris Cooking Nashville space that they've created called Cooking with Chris. Say hello to me, see what I'm starting to do. Make sure you're joined up with that group and everything so you can see that stuff over there if you're a part of his group. I'd love to see you there. And if you know other Tribe members, tell them that I'm over there. Tell them it's brand new and we're getting it started, but we'd love to have the interaction from the Tribe members over there. So that's going to be a lot of fun. A huge honor for Dr. Barry and Nisha to ask me to do that.
Oh, definitely,
It means a lot. So,
I have one announcement.
Yeah. I'm sure I'm forgetting something.
No, you're good. I was going to say two things really quick.
Yeah.
So speaking of Dr. Barry and all that, so next Monday.
Oh, yes, next Monday.
You guys, I am so excited about this.
Yes, mark your calendars now.
Yes. So we've never done this before on a Monday Morning Live, but we are going to have actually Coach Alyssa, who is Dr. Barry's head coach. She's actually going to be coming on next Monday. That would be the 21st of April. 10 a.m., same time that we normally go live. We're actually going to bring her on for an interview.
Yeah.
And I am ecstatic about this. So we're going to talk about her what she does with her health coaching and all this stuff. We're going to talk about the ladies' hormones and how that relates to you no matter your age or where it is you're at on your proper human diet journey. This is going to, I think, be a really great resource, though, for, yes, clearly all of us ladies. Also, though, for all the guys, so that we are able to understand more about your wives. And
all of the women need to show up so that they can learn about women's hormones wherever you are on the journey. All the men need to show up, and just like I'm going to do, we all need to sit there with our mouths shut, and we need to learn what it is like for women whose bodies work completely differently than us, so that we can support the mothers, the grandmothers, the wives, the daughters, the sisters, the nieces, the cousins, whoever in our lives, women who are going through a very different hormonal experience than we are, because quite honestly, we see this a lot, where a woman is struggling with something, and she goes into a carnivore group or something on Facebook, and a bunch of guys go, eat meat, salt, water, get over it. And it's like, no, you need to shut up, because you don't know anything about what her body's going through. And we need women like Alyssa who have this information to encourage other women out there to understand how their body works and how keto, ketovore, carnivore, whatever they choose to do, is going to support them healing and being better with their bodies and their hormones and how it works. And as guys, we need to be silent and we need to learn so that we can better support the women in our lives. And that's what we're going to do.
Yeah. But you guys, please mark your calendars. Alyssa is being very kind, and she's giving her time, so we want to be respectful of that. But also, please feel free to tune in. If we have time, we'll see if we can get to some questions. But we want her to feel the CCN family love and feel welcomed, and we appreciate her. So
she is an amazing human being.
Oh, just the best of the best.
Yes.
But yes, so tune in next Monday for that. I think that will be a really great live stream with a lot of information that can help a lot of different people. The other thing I was going to say is, if you're following the favorite chef competition, this guy made it to round 2, thanks to all of you. So just keep voting every single day.
We went through the top 20 round. We did great. We were in first place the last time I checked. In my group, this next round I believe is top 15, so they're going to cut the next 5 out. So keep voting. The link is in the description box for you. You can vote every day. There's a free vote on there. I'm not asking anyone to pay for votes. You can, but I'm not going to ask you to do that. But there's a free vote every single day. And if all of our followers vote every single day for free, I think we could win. And if we won, we would get to talk about the proper human diet and being a proper human diet chef in Taste of Home magazine and cooking with Carla Hall and meeting Food Network level chefs. Like, what an amazing opportunity to take the proper human diet to a new level of mainstream media that it has never been before in that context of cooking. How cool would that be?
It would be incredible, and it would reach a lot of people. And I think that's so awesome. I love that. I feel like that's all of our announcements.
Okay.
We're going to go film some carnivore corn dogs and all that good stuff. I did want to just say really quick to you guys, I am so sorry about the update that the streaming software has done to our comment section today. So I know I didn't get to everyone's comment, and I'm so sorry. However, we will be live again tomorrow night. I think I got everyone's questions, though. So if I missed one, though, comment on the replay, and I'll be sure to answer it, or get Chris to answer it. Or tune in tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Central as we cook some delicious, yummy food from our kitchen. But thank you guys so much for being here. We appreciate it. I just wanted to apologize, though, for the technical issues, and thanks for your guys' patience.
Doing the best we can.
That's right.
Thank you guys so much for being here. The private community and the favorite chef competition are both linked in the description box. Please go down there and check them out. And we would love to have you in the community, and we would love for you to vote for the favorite chef competition for me. Set a reminder and just do it every day for free. It only takes a few minutes, and it'll be good to go. I saw someone said it wouldn't let you vote every day, so you get to vote once every 24 hours. And once you vote, it starts a countdown for another 24 hours. You have to wait until the next day. So you just log in with your Facebook account. It just verifies you're a real person, and it lets you vote for free, and you can go from there. So I think that's all we've got.
I think so. I think that's everything.
Guys, thank you all so much for being here. We love all of you guys, and we just hope to see all of you over in the private community so we can interact with you a whole bunch more. Get excited for those corn dogs, and we will catch up with you guys very, very soon. This is Chris Cook in Nashville, my beautiful wife, Ash Taylor. Guys, eat your meat, love your life, and we're going to see you here in the studio for more interviews and podcast-style things like this. and in the kitchen and all kinds of different places. And hopefully we'll see all of the band members over there in the private community real soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.